Welcome to the hottest real estate topics on the planet, keeping you up to date with all the creative ways to buy and sell real estate without bank qualifying, so anyone can build real income starting today. Here is another great show with Dealmaker Bill and Pete the Rookie.
All right, here we are in another episode of Flipping Houses for Rookies. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Bill.
A little crackly voice this morning. I've been doing too many events.
Yeah, huh? After a few hours here and a few hours there.
Ooh, doggy, it wears me out. This old dog is getting tired. Episode number 237. Yes, 237. Wow. The name of today's podcast is 8 Dependable Ways for Rookies to Find Creative Real Estate Deals Indisputably.
8. I have no idea where you're going with this. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time I hear the title, just now. So 8 ways.
8 dependable ways for rookies to find creative real estate deals. Indisputably. That's where I'm going with this. No secret, no trick.
I'm not going to dispute it. It just doesn't sound like anything I'm familiar with. So lead on.
Okay. Are you finding enough flexible sellers, or do you find it difficult and almost impossible to get up to making offers with these hard sellers? In other words, suspects. Yeah. Maybe you think you need to spend a lot of money, time, or resources to find these needles in the haystack. Perhaps your plan didn't include having to spend so much time talking to suspects. Well, I have bad news. Finding leads to make offers to is the primary piece of any successful creative real estate business. So, maybe you need to know a few shortcuts or ways to streamline getting to the prospects who want to hear your offers and are likely to accept them instead of making you feel like a fool for asking. This podcast is set up to help investors with any budget, even none. The investors who get the biggest and most highest paychecks are the ones who master what you're about to hear. So, if you're trying to change your life through real estate income or with real estate income, then this podcast is a must for your bag of tools. So sit back, listen, absorb, then apply, and you will soon get the life that you want back.
Amen.
Them are powerful words, Peter.
We got to back those powerful words up now, Mr. Hawthorne.
Trigger mechanism.
What?
Huh? What the hell's he talking about? Trigger mechanism. Really. What is it?
That's almost as bad as when you called me yesterday. Pick up the phone. He just starts. He didn't say hello. He just what? Is he talking to the right guy? And it took me 2 minutes to catch up with you. Go ahead then. Trigger mechanism.
Mechanism. What is it? Something that caused a stimulus and resulted in a usual severe action.
Okay, say that again.
Yeah, so trigger mechanism is something that caused a stimulus and resulted in a usual severe reaction.
Got it.
In other words, it sets something in motion.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we know those. We see those all day long.
Okay. I bring this up today because it occurred to me while on a coaching call that new students subconsciously believe that they can say something or do something to create a non-motivated seller into being motivated.
Yeah. No.
Here's my thought. If the student learns all the fancy phrases, words, and tricks that they think the pros use, well, they will hit that vein in the gold mine. Almost as if Pete and I were going to grab a pick and shovel, walk into a mine or into the cave somewhere, start picking and shoveling until we run across that rare vein of gold worth millions. By the way, we find it by chance, if we ever find it. This is how many real estate investors think when it comes to finding deals. They're going to grab the pick and shovel. They're going to walk into some mysterious cave or mine, probably without much research, start picking and axing and shoveling, hoping they find that vein that's going to pay them for many months to come or give them a big chunk of dough. So if this is you walking around in the pitch black room and can't see anything at all, let me turn on the light so you can see extremely clearly. Here's the shocker. You don't use trigger mechanisms. I'm going to do that to you again. You don't use trigger mechanisms to convert sellers into saying yes. But instead, you find the sellers whom are already motivated to some degree, and push that motivation into confidence and excitement to do this deal with you. And I'll tell you this, it is done with old-fashioned work, not software, on autopilot, without much human intervention. Nope. If you want to be completely successful with real estate, you must first put yourself in a position to do so. I'm going to repeat it. If you want to be completely successful with real estate, you must first put yourself into a position to do so. How do you do that, Pete? What's your guess?
Putting yourself in position to do so. Well, I know that we've worked this business like a pendulum, kind of pushing one way and the other, like doing more automation, less automation, more calls, less calls. But I think my best answer would be really to find the things that work best and just stay with that. And you can push it a little bit to the left, you can push a little bit to the right, but what works, works. We're always hoping we'll find something that'll work better and better and better, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's my best answer, like, geez, what actually works?
What works?
What's your answer, Bill?
What works is talking to sellers. That's putting yourself in a position, right?
Yeah.
To do business. You know, in copywriting, you know, because you know I do a lot of copywriting. For anybody that's new to this podcast, just realize that my future dream, which I realized about a month ago, doesn't have to be when I turn 80 years old. I can start doing it now. So I've started, right? So my future dream is to have a mail order business. I'm fascinated by the mail order business, right? So I've studied copywriting. I'm a professional copywriter. You guys, if you've been around for a while, you've been reading my copy. You read my emails on my email list. You read all this stuff, right? Some of you like it, some of you don't. Whatever. Okay. Oh, by the way, it's not whatever. The ones that don't like it are not my crowd. Okay.
Yeah. Go away.
Yeah.
Go away.
You don't have to go away, but you're just not my crowd, right? But going away is okay too. So here's the thing. In copywriting, you have a headline. So that headline is there for two reasons. Number one, it's to get your attention, to stop you in the middle of your day and say, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
It's also there, not many, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say this, but for me, it's a sorting device. It sorts out who am I looking for, who am I not looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Then after that, the second line, which is the sub-headline, needs to influence you some way. Like, right? Then after that, I have to walk you through the copy, because the purpose of a line in copy, or a headline, a sub-headline, or a paragraph, the purpose of each one of those things is to get you to read the next one. So you have to be interested.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Before I get done, I need to get you to believe what I'm saying is true. Otherwise, you're not taking any action. So that simple formula I just gave to you is any good web page. It's any good copy. It's any good ad. It's anything that you've bought from print ad or from the internet or from a video has that formula one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Yeah.
this is what we're doing with the real estate stuff. We have to find someone that's interested. Right? Like, oh, I could sell without paying realtor fees or commissions?
Mm-hmm. Because they've already been thinking that, or wishing that, or not liking that they have to do it.
Right.
Not knowing that maybe there's another way.
Right.
And then maybe be surprised.
Right.
My example is, if you don't mind, when people find out that they can buy the house, like without the bank, the lease, that kind of rent to own, even just call it rent to own. A lot of people don't even know that, and they're shocked and like, oh my God, I can do that.
That's because the
They
bank
don't even know it.
That's because the bank has done a magnificent job for the last 100 years telling people the only place they get money is in a bank. Why is that?
Yep.
Because the bank wants to make more money.
Yep.
Right? Doesn't have to be
Oh, yeah.
that way. Doesn't have to be that way. I just talked to a guy the other day because we're trying to fund a 6-family house. Oh, I happen to have $300,000 in a checkbook. I mean, yeah, the money's in the bank, but he controls it, not the bank.
Yeah. It's his. He doesn't have to ask anybody's permission to have some.
And I don't want to put it into the market because I don't want to put new money in the market because I'm not sure about the market. So I've been thinking a lot about real estate. I'm glad you called.
Yeah, that's so funny. I was in the supermarket, by the way.
Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah. You're in the fruit aisle. There's Bill.
So I'll tell you this. It is done with old-fashioned work, not software on autopilot without much human intervention. Nope. If you want to be completely successful with real estate, you must first put yourself into a position to do so.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to clarify this because I know you have some confusion with this. I know because we've talked about it, and it totally makes sense.
Yeah, what's that?
So there's a 3-step process that we use, and that 3-step process is an opening call, which is designed to weed out the suspects, sort of give us an indication there's a prospect. And the way we do that is we ask, would you be willing to let us lease for a year or two without the landlord obligations and then buy it? Okay, so that's a good way to weed out. Excuse me. We often do that with texting. If they kind of pass that qualification, we'll get on the phone with them. The purpose of the opening call is to find someone that is willing to take monthly payments until we can pay them off, or at least hear how it works, or take some sort of a discount. They don't want to have full asking price within 30 days. That's a suspect to us. It's not a suspect totally, it's just a suspect to our program.
Right.
So the opening call weeds out people and looks for people that are willing or want to hear about making monthly payments until we can pay them off or take some sort of a discount. If they say yes, or they're curious, or there's a little spark there, like a little tiny spark, we're going to pour some gasoline on that spark and make a fire. That's when they elevate to the closing call. The closing call is where we find out their situation, we find out what pain points they have, what conversation they're already having in their head. Does it align with, does their way of thinking align with something we can help them with? Or are they too far-fetched?
Yep.
If they are, and if they are open or flexible, as I started this podcast off as, if they're remotely flexible, then we will talk them through an offer strategy. One of the 7 that I have, there's 7 strategies we use. If you go to flippinghousesforrookies.com, right on the front page to the left of the pretty girl with the money, there's a form there. You put your name and your email address in there, and you can see, 8 or 10 videos, I think, that are like 20, 30 minutes long on how all these different deals work. And you should, if you, even you, Peter, you should go once a month and go watch those videos. Until you're doing multiple deals a month, you should go watch those videos. Like you cannot, you should watch them minimally 12 times a year. Minimally. I don't care. Until you're doing multiple deals a month, you should be watching those videos. It's just, you can't stop learning. Right?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So, lost my train of thought.
Oh, wow, where were we?
Yeah, you're not listening. I'm not paying attention. This is what we do. We're boring our podcast listeners if we can't remember where we were.
No, you're saying that I have some confusion on the part of this.
So we have the opening call, then we have a closing call, and then we have the deal meeting. Now, the opening call qualifies, are they a prospect or a suspect? The closing call hones in on which offer they will accept and get some sort of a verbal agreement, yes, I will do that. When you move on to the deal meeting, you're going to do the paperwork first. They're going to sign documents, especially if you're doing this virtually. Then you're going to go look at the house. Looking at the house is the last portion of the system. So what you need to do to make real money in this business is stop looking at the house. That's backwards. And start looking at the people or listening to the people and see if they're motivated to do one of the 7 deals that I'm talking about. Which is a slot deal, an option deal, a rent-to-own deal, getting the deed deal, rehab retail deal, or owner finance, a wholesale or owner finance, right? So, so you can fit your customer or your seller in any one of those strategies. And if you go watch those videos at flippinghousesforrookies.com, they're all for free. You can see them. You'll totally understand what I'm talking about if you've never seen them before. Okay? So, by the way, we skipped the beginning part of it because I jumped right in. In your wherever you're listening to this, in the description of this video or the description of this podcast, there's a link there, and those videos are in that link. So you don't even have to go to Flipping Houses for Rookies. So if you're on your phone right now, just go down to the description portion of wherever you're watching us. If it's on YouTube, if it's on Facebook, if it's in Stitcher or iTunes or Google Play or wherever you are, just go in the description. And the link is there, and you can get these videos. Okay, so back to where I started with this, because as I always do, I get so passionate about this, I get off on a rampage, right? The part that I think that you get confused with, because you tell me this, because you covertly tell me that you're not doing what I'm doing. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way, Bill, right? So what I do is I try to automate the opening call section as much as possible. What I don't want to automate is I don't want to automate at all the closing call.
Right.
So what I don't want to do is I don't want to talk to 50 people and have them tell me they want all cash.
Sure.
So
That'd be a waste of time.
That's where I use virtual assistants. That's where the automation comes in. So when I say it's done with old-fashioned work, not software, on autopilot, without much human intervention, no, you can't do that. So we do use software. We do use, some automatic stuff.
Texting.
Mostly with texting. And the other thing that we use a lot of automation for is follow-up. So we use software that if they're not exactly ready right now and they need to be humbled a little bit more because time changes everything.
Yeah.
We'll put them in a 9-month or 13-month or, 9-week or 13-week or something like that. Some sort of a follow-up where they get text once a week or twice a week. They get sent to our website. They go to a video, like a YouTube video, or they get sent on my book that I wrote called Sold is just about done. We're going to start sending that to them. It's a book that explains all the deal strategies and all that kind of stuff, and it actually explains the creative real estate process for you. So it's like me doing the work for you. I'm doing the heavy lifting for you, right? And that book is not done yet. And when I get done with that in a few months, people are going to be able to buy that book, public label rights or PLR, which means that they can buy the rights from me and actually put their name on it, and they could be the author of it, and they can use it in their business, right? So I just want to be clear about that. I know I'm kind of rambling on here, but the automation is put in specific places. The specific places are in high traffic areas, right? Because it's quantity, then quality, then viability, right? So in the quantity, you're going to find you're going to find prospects in the sea of suspects. So you want some sort of a filtering system in that sea. So am I clear, or am I rambling on? Am I just...
No, that makes a lot of sense, because I know we've talked about it, and the bottom line is we're looking for somebody who's interested or has interest in the idea we're proposing, or could be, and it's not like half the people out there. It's a minority, which is like anything. you want to sell a Chrysler car. What percentage want the Chrysler? 5.
Right.
So you can't just go talking to hey, excuse me, would you like a Chrysler? No. Excuse me, would you like a Chrysler? No. The hell with it, Right. So they do advertising. Right. So the few people that want to do it show up. So in our case, you don't want to waste all that time at the beginning, because I've done that. I've got a stack of names and hit the phone calling. It's a little bit boring, and it'll break your heart a little bit. So it makes a lot of sense at the front end to just find the person that has that little bit of interest, but then talk to them.
Right.
Then the human part hits.
So to your point, which simply means that not generating enough leads will cause you to go into a tailspin and not waste the trouble. Get rid of the troublemakers. So if you're not whacking the suspects or wasting the troublemakers, like getting rid of them, you're not doing it right. And Peter, I will tell you, I went on this. I was on the meetup last night, and I went on this same. I don't get it. I mean, I have helped so many people. I've helped people make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I can name them.
Yep.
I can take you to my website and show you their testimonials. I can give you their cell phone numbers. I can name these people. And we knew them before
they were doing this.
Yeah.
Some
of them,
they were looking.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I talk to so many people, and honest to God, there is only one success in this business. Only one. And people try to make it so difficult. All you need to do is talk to enough new sellers. If you talk to enough new people, you'll find a motivated seller.
Yeah.
Now, maybe I talk to 5 people or 10 people, we'll say 10 people, and I can get a deal. Maybe maybe because of your training, you have to talk to 50. Yeah. The only difference between the listener and me is the amount of people that you have to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way you're going to become someone like me is to do what I did and do thousands of presentations. Right? And I'm not even saying you have to do that, because with my training materials, you could do that in a lot less time, because I went through the agony of learning it all. And actually, I can't even say that, because I've read and gone to school with a lot of many of the trainers that you probably use too. You know, the Ron LeGrands of the world. All I'm bringing to the table, I'm not bringing anything to the table other than my experience while I went through that. And just saying, hey, you know, maybe you don't need to do that. But I'm telling you, the only way that you are going to make money, and the number one thing when I get somebody on the phone, because I do 45-minute consultations, and I talk to all kinds of people all over the world, not just in America. The number one question I ask that I get the most disappointing answer is, how many people have you talked to last week that were selling a house?
Mm-hmm.
Then the next question is when is the last time you talked to somebody that was selling a house?
Mm-hmm.
So I ask you, I beg you, privately in your own mind right now, answer those questions. How many people did you talk to this week that were selling a house? Or when was the last time you spoke to somebody? And if you're one of those, you know, one of those rare ones that are making phone calls, and let's say you say, oh, I have a coaching client, I've talked to 50 people this week. Okay, so what did you say to them? Now it comes down to script. What did you say to them? Right?
Mm-hmm. Well, now you're going to work on a little bit of the quality of their presentation or how they're talking to people, because at least they're doing the volume, but like maybe get it better because you're better, and then you'll get better results.
I will tell you this. I'm spending too much time on this. I will tell you this. The guy that's making those calls is hearing prospects. He's talking to prospects, but doesn't know what they sound like, hear like, or look like.
Mm-hmm.
He's skipping right over the top of them. He doesn't know that. If you're making that many calls, he's skipping right over a prospect and he doesn't know what they are. Right?
Yeah, after that many calls, and he's probably had a few conversations with somebody. Oh, yeah, I'll sell you my house. Oh, I got one. No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
All right, so which simply means not generating enough leads will cause you to go into a tailspin and not waste the troublemakers. And waste all of your time on bad deals or unmotivated people who will steal your dreams. They will make you believe that this business can't work and that buying creative real estate is an alternative manner and that blah, 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 blah. If you are looking at a house before making offers or testing your offers, in other words, on the closing call, you're going to test your offers by saying, would you? How about this? I got this crazy idea. What do you think? Right? You need therapy, man. You need therapy. If you're looking at houses and making offers or testing offers before, you need therapy. And your lack of success is your own fault and you need to change. Stop worrying about the house. Start worrying about the seller. Right?
Right. Well, first of all, you're not buying the house for yourself.
Right.
Second, if somebody's living there, somebody else will live there.
Right.
You know, so I mean, it's like when you're buying houses, sometimes we look at properties not the best part of town. Okay. And like, well, gee, is it okay here? You look up and down the street, and there's people living in them. So if they're living in them, they're living in them.
If if the whole neighborhood's boarded up, then you got a problem.
Then you leave. You know, it's a business, so it's not a matter of, is it pretty? It's not. It's a business.
Desiree beat me to the punchline. She says, house doesn't show up at the closing. That's right, Desiree. People do.
Hey, Desiree, Bill doesn't either.
Yeah. Some people don't show up at the closing.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's get into the important part. If you have too many leads, now picture this. This is an imagination for some people because they don't have it. If you have too many leads, you can't vet each one of them very long. You will soon figure out how to do the very important sorting or pre-qualifying process because you won't have enough time to deal with all of them.
Right, and you'll lose them if you don't find that this person is for real and you skip over and do the next one, the next one, the next one. It's like one night stands. You'll never get married.
Right. So that bears the question, one night stands. Pete, you're 70 years old. It's been 65 years since you had a one night stand. Come on.
Bill, I never had a one.
Oh, there you go. All right. So this bears the question that we don't need to talk about Peter's sex life. This bears the question of how do we get too many leads?
Well,
Right?
Can you really have too many leads, Bill?
Yes. I have it right now. It is possible. Yeah. So, number one. Let's start with number one. The most common, easiest, and quickest way, because I'm going to give you 8 of them.
Okay.
Right? Go into Flakebook Marketplace. Okay? Look for rental property on the left-hand side. First you want to put in wherever you are in a radius. Like I'm in New Haven County, Connecticut. I put in New Haven County. I put in a 20-mile radius. Right? Then I go to the left under that. I don't sort anything. Right? And I go to rental properties. Okay? Now, if you're someone like me, and you could buy in multiple ways, like the subject to and the lease options and owner financing, it would be advisable that you can go into the FSBO section because there is a section there where it says properties for sale, right? There's not a FSBO section, but you'll find them in there, right? You might want to go there. But if you're just starting out, here's the deal. The best way you could do real estate is to rent from your seller and then sublease to your buyer. There's no risk. There's nothing. Okay?
Yeah.
What's the matter?
Me?
Yeah, I thought you had a question. So.
Oh no! It just reminds me of I was watching one of the renovation shows. The wife she's watching all that. We're gonna do the kitchen, so she's watching all the shows. She's making measurements. She's doing schematics of cabinets. But there was a guy like, I'd rather rent. I don't want the responsibility of owning. So you have both of those situations.
So it's best to start with less obligation to your seller. And take whatever obligation you're going to make with your seller and pass it on to your buyer. And if you do a slot deal, which is a sandwich lease option transfer, and if you don't know what that is, go to flippinghousesforrookies.com or go to that link inside of your description box right now and go check it out. Okay? Here's the point. When you talk to a for sale by owner and they're asking $200,000 for their house, and then you come along and say, well, I give you $200,000, but I want to give you $1,500 a month for 7 years, and then maybe, only maybe, I'm not 100% sure, but I might pay you off. Okay? So that's and those deals, we do those deals all day long because people will do that. Okay? But when you're in the rental section, you don't have to convince the guy to take monthly payments or the girl to take monthly payments. They're already taking monthly payments. So they've already resorted to, I'm going to collect $1,500 a month. So it's a different approach because now what happens is you come along and say, will you rent for a year or two? So number one, they're looking for probably a 1-year lease. Now you're going to give them a 2-year lease, so they don't have to keep looking for new renters every single year. So that's appealing. Number two, you're going to say to them, and you don't have landlord obligations. Oh, I would like that. And number three, they're saying at the end, we'll buy it from you. They're like, oh, I didn't think of that.
Bill, that's funny. When we talk to for sale by owners, we have to convince them to kind of rent it. When we're talking to rent people, we have to try to convince them, how about if you sell it? Because sometimes they want to hang on to it, but eventually they would want to sell it, but is it soon enough? So it's funny. When you're trying to convince to sell, when you're trying to convince kind of to rent. No?
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of the show. I used the word trigger mechanism.
Yeah.
What did it mean?
Well, something that you do that stimulates something to get a certain predictable reaction.
So that's right. So it's something that happened that created severe action.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now watch this,
Yep.
Pete. Now listen to me carefully, because this is worth the entire podcast. I'm telling you, you are not going to hear this anywhere else. I promise you, this is in Bill's planet, on Bill's planet, in Bill's head. Listen to me carefully. This is extremely vital, but yet so soft and so undercurrent, you don't even know it's there.
Yeah.
Good morning, Jamie. Here's the point. The for sale by owner hasn't had the trigger mechanism hit him yet. He is still a homeowner. The guy that's renting, the trigger mechanism hit him, and he went from homeowner to investor.
Yeah.
Without even knowing it. Even if he's an accidental landlord, he turned into investor. So basically, our biggest job when we're buying for sale by owners is converting them from homeowner into investor. Some people don't want to do that. They don't want to be part of that. They don't want anything to do with it. They just want their cash and leave. They don't want to invest. They have another reason for the money. But somebody that's just taking the money out just because, you can convert them into being an investor, saying, hey, listen, you could make more on this asset that you already own than you can if you just put cash in the bank. So the trigger mechanism hit them before we got there.
Yeah.
They went from homeowner to investor. That's the difference between going on Zillow or Flakebook and actually looking for sale by owners and going into a person that rents. There's a huge difference. That sorting has been done for you already.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
No, it does. And I've thought, I haven't actually articulated this or done it much, but there's times I've been on the phone with people, and I have said to them, like, do you consider yourself an investor? Or have you ever thought of, like, wanting to be an investor? Like, oh, yeah, well, you have a house right now.
Right.
And I've said, some people are out looking for houses to get so they can become an investor and get cash flow and some appreciation and more money off the property. And you have one. You could turn it into an investment. And it's like they never thought of that. Like, please take my house. Or here,
okay,
take
what?
my house, please.
So what do you have in common with that person, Peter? What do you and that person have in common? There's one thing, only one thing that you and him have in common every single time, 100% of the time. Only one thing.
I don't know what. I'm not even going to guess. What is it?
They don't want to manage the property anymore, and you do want to manage the property.
Yeah, I'm willing to. Let's call it willing to. Yeah.
It comes down to property management. They like the money.
Oh,
they don't want the property management. That's why they're selling. That's why they're doing this.
They get tired of it after a while. We've all talked to people. Matter of fact, who hasn't talked to somebody and you say, "Oh, I do real estate stuff and I have rental property." Oh, I don't want to do that. They're not even. Oh, I would never do that, because they just imagine how horrible it must be.
We looked at an absolutely gorgeous house yesterday. Absolutely gorgeous house. I mean, just stunning gorgeous. The tenant that lives in there, it was spotless. I wanted to sit down in the backyard and smoke a cigar around the fire pit and drink a beer with the guy. I mean, he was military, right? So here's the deal. The guy that owns it is military. In Arizona, And we happened to talk to him yesterday, and he got a promotion yesterday, and he doesn't know where he's getting transferred to next.
Oh, right. All over the place.
Right?
So this was his house, and he's renting to another military person.
Tried to sell it with a realtor. There was a problem with the well that was fixable. The buyer got spooked. He didn't have enough time. The guy that replaced his position, wherever he was working, rents the house from him.
Yep.
But now hear this out. Hear this out. The electric bill in the house, and it's not electric heat, the electric bill in the house is like $700 a month. So the tenant's saying...
Whoa,
yeah,
wait a minute. How?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. So the tenant's saying, when you lived here, it was $400. Well, the owner is saying, well, because I was careful with the heat and all that kind of stuff, right? So here's the point. The tenant's saying, if I can't get the electric bill fixed, I'm not staying. And all that owner's thinking in Arizona is, how am I going to get another person in there? I found this guy because of the military. How am I going to find someone else?
Yep.
Do you see?
Yeah, and he's not like, oh, I'm in real estate. He's in military. He doesn't want to do that. That's not what he does.
He's an investor that doesn't get enough profit from this deal because he's only got one.
Yeah.
Okay? So I want to keep moving on because we've used half the show just talking about everything except for the 8 ways. So does that make sense?
We're on 1.
Yeah, we're on number 1. So does that make sense? So when we're going into Flakebook and we're looking under the rental section, or Zillow and looking under the rental section, we already have a seller that's predisposed to being an investor, taking monthly payments, and then we give them the promise of, we'll do the landlording, you keep getting money, right? Mm-hmm. Just give us a few $100s a month profit, right? If they can.
Yep.
And we'll buy it at the end when we're all done. It's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Whole different conversation. And you take all the obligations you make with the seller and pass them on to the buyer. Right?
Right. But you're looking at it from his point of view. He likes the money. He probably doesn't like the management, or some of them won't. And that's the things you're talking about.
Most of them won't. 99% of them won't.
Yeah.
It's not passive income. It's a job. And when you only have one property, like I was taught, I have a house that I'm supposed to, today at 1 o'clock, I have an appointment to do paperwork with a girl. Yeah. I was in the house with her on Sunday, right? And she's like, she has 3 kids. She's a single girl. One boy is 22 years old. He's like mentally retarded or autistic or something. And I don't mean to say that derogatorily, but he was. She said his mental state is about 8 years old. And then she's got like 2 8 or 10-year-old kids, right? So she's got her hands full. Right? Yep. She's got a vacant house.
Ooh.
She's got one house. In the conversation, when I'm talking to her, I say to her, I'm different than you are because I have multiple houses. And if somebody calls me with a problem with a toilet, which they don't, but if somebody calls me with a problem, I just send one of my guys. It's just because I have guys to do that. With her, one house is difficult. When you're just doing one house, it's annoying. Yeah. It's annoying when somebody calls you. You just want your passive income. You don't want the problems. But they're houses and they get problems. Yeah. This is your perfect seller. And they're right there under your nose for free.
Yep.
So all you do is you message them, would you be willing to rent your house for a year or 2 without landlord obligations and then sell it to me? That wouldn't work for you, would it? Double negative.
Yeah. I like that. That wouldn't work.
That wouldn't work for you, would it? Double negative. It's supposed to be that way. Once they seem like they're willing to take a payment until you can pay them off, which, by the way, is the opening call pre-qualifying. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get their phone number. You're going to want to get the address of the house. You're going to want to get on the phone with them and talk to them. Now, you don't need to be skilled. You don't need to be me. Just talk to them. And we've talked about this since episode number 229, and we're on 237. So for 8 episodes, we've been talking about how you can go in the house, what you can say, how you do that. So I'm not going to cover that today. Just go listen to those other podcasts, okay?
Yeah.
And I realize that they're not named very well, so you just got to go listen from 229 on, right? So that makes sense. So you could find leads like, if you did this, I promise you with all of my wallet, I promise you, I will bet you, I will jeopardize just about anything I have because I'm so certain of this. If you do this for 15 minutes a day, I guarantee you by the end of the week, you will have somebody on the phone. You will be in somebody's house and you will be talking to them.
Yeah.
Just impossible if you don't. The only way this would not work, like when I was on the meetup last night, some girl asked me how to, so I showed them how to do some of the Facebook stuff on the meetup last night, right? And she was on some island in New York I never even heard of, and I'm only an hour away from her. And there were like 4 people that live on the island. I mean, I'm being facetious. There was not many people, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
I mean, there has to be some sort of population in your area to be able to do this. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're especially if you're in a town that's 75 or 100,000 people, there's no way you can't text people in that or message people in Flakebook 15 minutes a day and not have somebody within days want to talk to you. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
Just absolutely impossible. And the further we go into this moratorium that President Biden just postponed till it's January right now until September.
What?
Till September. The moratorium, he signed an executive order last night. He pushed off the moratorium till September.
So like what, foreclosures? No foreclosures? Is that what you mean?
Yep.
Phew.
Okay. That means you can't evict someone. Okay. So the further we get into that, the easier this stuff is that's going to be for me to, I mean, if you got somebody that hasn't been paying you for 9 months and you can't pay your mortgage and you got the mortgage company calling you, what do you think they're going to do when you call?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, go on to Zillow and do the same thing. Look for renters and do just like I did on Facebook a few minutes ago. Except on Zillow, there will be phone numbers. The owner will put their phone number on there. Now, Zillow keeps, messing around with this because Zillow is trying to monetize their platform. Zillow has become a publicly traded company, and they're trying to figure out how to monetize. Facebook went through this. Google went through this until they got the whole click, the ads thing down. And the click, and which, by the way, I think the government's going to change all that pretty soon. So enjoy it while you have it. Okay? So the point is this. The phone numbers are on there. You got to scroll past all the realtor ads because the way Zillow is trying to monetize is by giving opportunities to realtors. So they're charging realtors ad money to get in front of the for sale by owner on Zillow.
Right, and it looks like a realtor's representative if you don't.
Right, if you're
not
careful.
Oh, there's a realtor. But then you'll see there's 3 of them. You go, wait a minute, how can there be 3 of them? Which one is it? And it's none of the above.
And it keeps changing every week, and it changes per zone. So they're doing it with some zones, not with others. They're testing it. They're trying to figure it out. Okay? So here's what you're going to do. You're going to find the owner's cell phone number, because it is going to be a cell phone number. You're going to find their phone number. And we use software called Text Magic. You're going to put that phone number into Text Magic. Text Magic, by the way, costs $3.99 for a phone number. And then I think it's a half a cent or 0.4 cents. I think it's a half a cent a text. Mm-hmm. So you put $10 in there and you go like crazy. Okay? So you take the phone number. So worst case scenario, you spend 15 minutes a day and you find 10, 15, 20 phone numbers. You put them into Text Magic and then you text everybody at once. And then Text Magic allows you to handle those texts individually. It also allows you to pre-upload your script. So if you go to flippinghousesforrookies.com or click in that link that you have in your description on the free stuff page, you'll find my scripts there.
Mm-hmm.
Print one of those scripts and pre-type them into TextMagic. It'll take you about a half an hour, and you pre-type them into TextMagic. So now, when you're in TextMagic, you just push, you put the person's, you're talking to a person, and you just hit the particular part of the script you want, and it will populate the screen for you, so you don't need to keep typing in the same things over and over again. The scripts will be in there. It's an amazing tool. So, Peter, I could stop this show right now.
I know. That's a lot right there.
If you did each one of those, let's say you did 15 minutes a day on Flakebook, just sending the message I just told you about, and then you went on to Zillow. Now here's the trick, Peter. Here's the trick.
Yeah.
Because I have humanoids listening to me right now.
Oh no.
Humanoids do some crazy shit. They have their own ideas and they think they could do it better. Right? They can't just follow instructions. No. Because here's what the humanoids are going to do that are listening to us right now. They're going to go on to Facebook and they're going to look at the house first. Oh, I like this house. Oh, I think I want to buy this. Oh.
Wait a minute. Are you living there? Come on, stop that.
I don't even care about that. When do you qualify the house? At the end of the process. You go through the opening call, the closing call. At the end of the deal meetings when you qualify the house. So when I do this in my demonstrations, when I do it, I don't even look at the houses on Flipbook. All I do is look at the area, make sure it's in an area I want to be in. I click on it, I send a message. Same thing with Zillow. Just click on it and send a message. Or get the phone number and send a message. Do not worry about the house until it's time. That's out of sequence. It's not when you're supposed to do that.
Right, and it's the least of the problems. The house is never going to say no or yes. It's not going to say anything. It's the people. So get past that one and don't worry about the house. That's so small of the problem.
So here's to your point, Peter. You're 100% correct. If you start looking at the houses, you're going to send 3 texts in 15 minutes. If you do what I'm telling you to do, you're going to send 30. Which one do you want? The more leads you talk to, the more chances of doing a deal. If you're not doing a deal, it's because you're doing it backwards. You're spending too much time looking at the houses. Stop looking at the houses and start sending messages. Contact new sellers as much as possible. Whew, glad that's over. Number 3. Go to a website called My Plus Leads. And for about $40 a month, I think they just went up. I think it's $49 a month. They were $29. For about $40 a month, they will supply you with a list of for sale by owner leads. Now, here's the thing. They will add new leads every day as they come on the market.
Those are like recent.
Right. So listen to me again, because I'm talking to the humanoids that like to go change shit and have their own idea, and they got a better site. Here's the deal. My Plus Leads allows you to go back as long as you did. For example, my new acquisition manager, I'm calling my acquisition, he's not really, the guy that I'm working with, Sean, who's one of my coaching clients, went in there in my account 2 days ago or 5 days ago over the weekend. He pulled 7,000 names.
7,000 names of for sale by owner?
Mm-hmm.
In what area? How big an area?
In Hartford, in New Haven, in Connecticut.
In Connecticut?
Maybe it's 4,000. It's either 4,000 or 7,000. I think it's 4,000. I'm sorry. I think it's 4,000. For the year.
That's still huge.
That's for the entire year of 2020.
That's huge.
So, is that worth $50 a month or $40 a month?
Sure.
Now, upload that list into TextMagic and just send 25 texts a day, 30 texts a day, 50 texts a day, which I'm going to tell you if you send a minimum of, I suggest you do 25 in the beginning. And I also suggest when you send that 25 texts, which you can do on your phone, by the way, TextMagic works on your phone.
Yeah.
I do it on my computer, And I make sure that I leave about a half hour or 45 minutes, because when you send 25 or 30 texts a day, you're going to get immediate responses. And you need to answer them. And you may even get on the phone with somebody within 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think we should put an hour aside, something like that. Start. And you know what's funny? I used to do a lot of phone work for different businesses, and it was always, call people at night after work. But we found a weird thing a couple of years back. What's the best time to call people?
9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
It blows my mind, because that's the time I actually have available usually. Yeah. But 9 to 11, can you imagine that? Mm-hmm. Sending those texts out at 9 or 9:30, and then just leaving an hour, and they come in. We've done it a number of times. They come in, and you just start answering them. Plug it away, and then another one comes in, you answer that. It's actually, what's weird? I don't do it a lot, but I've done it a number of times. You think, this is going to be a pain in the butt. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Because they say something, you go like, what do I answer to that? And you look at your answers, you go, well, this one fits, and you send that one. And then you get an answer back like, no. And you just send another line. And then someone else calls. You go, what do I say to that guy?
You get those lines off of the script on the free bus. Yeah. I mean, you just type them into TextMagic. They're already pre-written. They're already there. So you just... Yeah. Sometimes I just send them, well, Peter, why don't you explain this? I could do it, but non sequitur, what does that mean? Non sequitur.
It's like non-sequence, like not in order.
So Peter will say, how much do you want to give me? How much of an offer do you want to give me?
Yeah, like I'm the seller. How much are you going to give me?
Right. So I would send a message back. So if I don't give you all cash, you're not going to sell? It's non sequitur. Mm-hmm. It's not in sequence. It's just the next answer that I need. I pretty much ignore them and ask the next question. And
it's the weirdest thing. It is
the
weirdest thing. You do not have to answer the person's question.
Right.
I mean, if you watch people talk, and you and I both have done communication courses and blah, blah, blah. So, you're doing everything correctly and talking to people. In this case, they say something, you have a script, just send the next question. Doesn't matter what they say. Right. Watch people talk. They don't answer each other.
Right.
One guy says something, and the other guy says something, and the other guy says whatever. Right. He didn't answer his question, but the other guy follows what he just said.
Right.
He forgets what he asked. You say something else, and he just goes with it. Yep. So don't worry about having to answer the amazing question that the guy asked. Ask your question. Like, would you be willing to take payments? Or like, how long? A year, whatever it is. And just answer something. And if he's at all interested, it will work.
Peter, stop the show.
Boom, boom.
Stop the show. Here's the punchline before we go on to number 3.
Yes.
The rookie doesn't need to know crap about this. This could be your first day. Go to flippinghousesforrookies.com/free stuff, or use the link in this description. Download the script, upload it into TextMagic, and now I am talking to your seller. You don't need to learn anything. It's all in the script. Just send it to them as if I was sending it to them, and let me do the heavy lifting for you. You don't need to go learn this stuff. It's already done for you. Just go do it.
Look, it's so good. Bill, did I not, like 5 years ago, get the first person on the phone from For Sale by Owners, ask a few questions from the script, because it was pre-text days, just ask a few questions, and wind up in the house with you 2 days later looking at it?
Absolutely.
I mean, honest to God, it was like my first actual call.
Right.
I swear to God. I think I get lucky sometimes, but it doesn't take that much.
No.
Get on the damn phone, send the text, do something. Stop thinking about it. Don't be a sissy. Don't be a wuss.
If you did these 2 things as a rookie, and the most amount of money you're going to spend is $3.99 for a phone number for TextMagic, and maybe $10 in your account. Yep. That's it. If you can't find a lead with these 2 things, now, granted, they are manually intensive. You have to do these every day. You got to spend your 15 minutes. You're going to have to get on the phone. They're manually intensive. Okay?
Sorry. You want to make $30,000, don't you? I'm sorry. You're going to have to spend a few minutes. Come on.
So
get real.
That was number 3. I'm sorry. I thought we were on number 3. So number 3 is go to My Plus Leads, get the subscription for $50 a month, which is a little bit more money. But now you have a lot of leads. Now it's a matter of how you're going to call 4,000 names. He went back a year. You could go back a month and get a few hundred names.
Yeah.
You just adjust the amount of time you want to go back to get those leads. Oh, by the way, Peter, what's the best time to talk to somebody about creative real estate? Between day 45 and day 60.
Yeah, when they've had the house on the market a little bit, it hasn't sold.
And they're starting to humble.
It's not like and it's not like 300 days later with a junky house that nobody really wants.
Right.
That like in the middle part, which it's not the first day where he's like, I don't need you, buddy. My house is going to sell like hotcake.
So in My Plus Leads, you can choose 30 days old to 90 days old and get a list in that 2 months sweet hot spot and just start talking to them. It's already sorted for you. The house has been on the market based on what date you put in My Plus Leads. Will get you to the person that you want to talk to, that's humbled, and you can talk to them about becoming an investor.
Yep.
Because their idea that their house is the best house on the market and it's going to sell right away because they got this and they got this and nobody else has it and they're going to get $1 bazillion for it has been deflated.
Yeah.
Number 4. For the more advanced guys and gals out there, we use PropStream. PropStream is software that costs $97 a month, and it's like the investor's MLS. Okay? It does comps, it got all the filings, it tells you when the person bought the house, it tells you taxes, it does just like the realtor does. It prints a comparable report for your sellers so you can bring it to your sellers or your buyers, whatever way you're going to use it. It does everything the MLS does plus. So there are no more the days where you need to go to the MLS. The only thing that's on the MLS that you might need is things like days on market, which is a huge thing. You should know how many days on market, because the more days on market that your area has, the higher that number, the better chances of you doing creative real estate deals.
Yeah.
Right? So you're going to go onto the MLS for $97 a month, which, by the way, if $97 a month is too much money for you, what you should do is you should go to flippinghousesforrookies.com. Let me go look this up because I have to remember the URL. flippinghouses.com. I think it's group chat. Yeah. So if you go to flippinghouses.com/group chat, you can join a free WhatsApp group. Okay? That has, I think it's probably got 100 and something people in there. I haven't looked in a while. So these are people that listen to me, know about me. They're part of, quote unquote, my system. They get my emails. They could be coaching clients. They could be all different walks of life on Bill's planet. So it's flippinghouses.com/group chat, and put a post in there. It's a WhatsApp group that I want to share the expensive PropStream with someone who wants to go in with me. You get 4 people to share the username and login, because my coaching clients do this. You pay $25 a month.
Yep.
Why can't you do that? Here's the amazing thing. For the $97 a month, they allow you to download 10,000 names a month. 10,000 names a month. Which, by the way, I want to divert for a second here. Completely for a second, because this is freaking amazing. Right?
What's that?
You can go into PropStream, and there's a button on there, or a section there, right, that says paid cash for a house. So what we do, and I play with these numbers, is suppose you put in the filters, because there's different parameters. You put in the filters in the last 24 months, who has paid cash for 10 houses or more. You go into my private lending course section, which is not much money, and you get the letters that I have in there, and you mail those people letters to find private money.
Because somebody buying 10 houses got
For
money.
cash in the last 24,
For cash.
he's probably willing, and I'm not saying that every one of them will say yes, but suppose you go in there and get a list of, we did it the other day, I think in New Haven, and there were like 268 names.
Wow. Well, it's people in real estate with money. That's close enough. Who wants to be a private lender?
So you send them a letter or a string of letters, which, by the way, if and I'm not trying to sell this, but if you go into my private money, if you go into my Flipping Houses for Rookies courses section, there's a private money thing in there, and I don't think it's very much money at all. But not only do I give you the letters, but I give you a presentation that you can send to them that explains how you do private money. So it's me doing your presentation to your private money lender that you found on PropStream. So now what's your excuse? I don't have money. Doesn't work. Not bad, eh?
No. There's people with money who are willing to let their money work for them. And there's those people who don't have money who need to just be willing to work, period.
Right. Okay.
I don't know how else to do that.
So let's get back to finding leads. So what you could do is you could take a list from PropStream, like, for example, out of area owners, which means the property has one address and the mailing address for the property, usually from the tax bill, is a different address. So what did I just say there, Peter? I want you to summarize it with two words that we started this podcast off with. What was the words? Trigger mechanism.
Trigger, yeah, okay. Trigger mechanism.
Right? So here, what is a trigger mechanism? You already have an investor. They have a property address and a mailing address, which means they do not live there. Automatically, they are an investor. Automatically, they are probably taking monthly payments for that property. The trigger mechanism happened before you got there. You don't need to convince them to take monthly payments. They're already doing it.
They're already in that pool.
Right. You see the cleverness of this? It's not that you need to work hard. You need to work smarter. And these ideas, and of course I'm giving you the theory today, so it takes a long time to explain this, which a podcast is not really the place to do this, but we do it every single week and people like it, so there you go. Okay? Here's my point. You take that list, because it's not going to have their names and phone numbers and emails on. They'll have their names, but not their names and phone numbers and email. I'm say that again. Not their phone numbers and emails, or Facebook account, or Twitter account, or LinkedIn account. It's not going to have that.
Yeah.
So you take that list and you do a skip trace with that list. That software, it's private eye software is what it really is, but it's used for a lot more than that these days. You take that software and you take a number of names, 50 names, 100 names, 500 names, the whole list, 10,000 names, I don't care. And you upload it to their site and you pay between 10 cents and 20 cents per name to get their contact information.
That's a lot cheaper than it used to be, I understand.
All right. So you go in and sort a list out of area owners for a specific, zip code or a specific town like Wallingford, Connecticut. You pull a list, say it's got 268 names on it. You send it to get it skip traced. We'll say 268 times 0.10 cents is $26.80. Now you have a list of 268 names. You have their phone numbers, which, by the way, they give you like 6 phone numbers. So if it's not one, there's another. These are all the possibilities. All right. They often give an email address, a Twitter account, all that kind of stuff. So now you have 268 names of people that are for sale, that are already investors. Okay. wouldn't it make sense that you upload that into Text Magic and start texting them there too? Or just get on the phone and start calling them. I'm going to guarantee you take that list and you call 20 or 30 of them, you're going to have an appointment to get in a house.
Right. And these are not long phone calls.
No.
It doesn't take long to see if a person has some interest. And then if not, just hang up, thank you, bye, next person.
Right. So just because I don't want to have the support tickets, Peter, I'm going to do this, okay? Because I don't want the aggravation. So
What?
grab paper and pencil. If you're asking who are the skip trace sites, because I'm going to get that question. So here I'm going to give you a few of them, okay? I'm going to rattle them. So write them down. Make sure you get them. So the first one is REI skip. REIA skip. I didn't say the A the first time. REIA skip. The second one is fastpeoplesearch.com. Fastpeoplesearch.com. The third one is truepeoplesearch.com. Truepeoplesearch.com. Another one is realacquisitions.com. Realacquisitions.com. And then another one, which is for heavier users, is batch skip tracing. I think that's what we use. Batchskiptracing.com. Now, I'm not going to go do this research for you because I'm not your research and development department, and I'm not on your payroll, but I am almost positive True People Search or Fast People Search actually do it for free. But you can only do onesies and twosies. You can't do like a whole list.
Oh.
So
Okay.
if you have a name, you can go do it for free for those guys that don't have money. Okay. Number 5, Peter. How am I doing so far? Good. Am I giving a lot of juice and meat here? How about the guys listening to me on Facebook and YouTube? Respond. Send a message in. We doing okay here? Am I like off the rails here, or are we good? Because we're only on number 5. We've got 3 more to go. So send me a message and let me know if I'm doing okay or if we should just like end off.
And you don't have to do all of these. Just pick one of these and go.
Exactly. Because any one of these...
overwhelmed.
Thank you, Desiree. Any one of these will give you a deal. And that's all you need in the beginning is just one deal. Right? Mm-hmm. All right, number 5. And this is a new strategy that we're testing as I speak. So please do not send me support tickets and a bunch of geeky things because we've only been doing this for a couple weeks. But I'm going to release it here just so you could go check it out because it's not that hard. You ready for this, Peter? This is effing amazing. I wish I could swear right now, but I can't because we put on the little button that we don't swear.
Okay. Good. You got a mute button?
Yeah. My wife wishes I had a mute button. Here we go. Ready?
Yeah. What's this new thing? I probably don't know it.
You don't know it. Nobody knows it. Emma doesn't even know about this yet. And I can't even believe I'm going to do it on this podcast, but I'm just showing off right now. Because I can.
Yeah.
Google AdWords now allows you to send ads to people's emails. So some of you have this, some of you don't. If you open up your email box, you'll notice the top 2 rows says ad to the left of the person's name.
Say that again. You do what?
When you open your email, your Gmail account,
Right.
It has to be Gmail.
Yeah.
When you
Okay,
open
so
your
Gmail.
Gmail account, the top 2 rows, the top 2 emails, to the right of the name, to the left of the subject column, there's a little box there that says ad.
Holy cow.
They put 2 of them there.
Yeah, AD, not ADD.
Right.
Ad, like advertising.
Right.
Wow. And this is new.
Yeah.
Okay.
And based on the email searcher's history, you can send them ads. So you put in, so if the user is searching for sale by owner info or how to sell a house fast or probate or anything those folks email, so anything they're looking for, you can email those folks an ad and start getting attention.
Yeah, because they're looking for something. That's the point. They're looking for some kind of probate or real estate. So Google AdWords connects, like you just type in, fishing gear, click, and it finds fishing gear. The Google ad, the words connect. So by doing this, it would connect to that person or find the people that are looking. You find them this way. Is that what you're saying?
So Google has the ability to know what your email address is, because we don't know what your email address is.
Right.
And they know what you're searching. We don't know that. Mm-hmm. And they connect the two and allow us to put an ad based on what you're searching in your Gmail box.
Wow.
I think this is going to be a great lead generator for us in the future.
That's crazy. Well, that's how we get all kinds of crazy emails from people that we don't want, right? Or like you're looking for something and you get an email. How do they know I'm looking for such and such? And you get way too many emails, but hopefully some of those are along the lines of what someone's looking for and actually might be helpful.
Right. So let's go back to my simple formula. The simplest formula that we haven't talked about in some time, but I'm just going to rattle it off.
Yep.
You find a seller to talk to. You find a seller. A seller means they have a house for sale.
Yep.
You find a seller to talk to about real estate, about making an offer. 2, you tell them, I buy houses. 3, you ask them what's needed and wanted. 4, you present them an offer based on what they said. Now, pay attention, Peter. Pay attention.
Listening. I'm listening.
I just gave you a new, because nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about what I'm telling you. Which, by the way, not this month, not in February, but in March, I expect to have enough data that in my deal hunting monthly mastery, I'm going to actually teach you how to do it. Okay?
Cool.
In that formula, what's the first thing you need to do is find someone to talk to about real estate, about creative real estate, right?
Sure.
And number 2, what do you say to them?
You tell them that you buy houses.
So if we were to use this Google thing, Google's going to find them for us.
Yeah.
And we're going to put in the subject line, I buy houses.
Yeah.
You think they might open that email if that's what their attention is on?
Hell yeah.
Now, I'm going to take it one step further because I don't want to spend all day on this. Suppose we put a link in the email that has the cost to sell worksheet on it. And they fill out the cost to sell worksheet and send it to us. Hello?
Well, that worksheet is an amazing public service. That tells people things they never know about what they're going to get when they sell the house. That's really important. Like, how much are we going to get? I don't know, honey. Sweetheart, how much do you think we'll get when we sell the house? I'm going through that now.
Right.
How much are you going to get when I'm selling? I'm selling one of my own houses.
Right.
My own personal house. So how much are we going to get?
Right.
Trying to sort that out.
Number 6. That's pretty, that was worth listening to this show for, I think. Number 6. Of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention bandit signs. Okay? Those still work, especially in your local areas.
Yep.
Okay?
I still use them. I got a new box. It's a little hard to stick them in the ground right now.
Yeah, because
on
it's
warmer
frozen.
days. On warmer days it's okay now, I think, if you got a couple.
So,
yeah, but those still work.
So listen to me, Peter.
Uh-huh.
Make this one change to bandit signs.
Yeah.
You didn't. I wish I knew you ordered them because I would have had you make this change.
It was a little while ago. What are you saying?
If you got a text magic number, instead of saying call me at and the phone number, just put the phone number on there and say 24/7 texting.
Right.
Let them text you instead of calling you.
Yeah, because people are way chicken to make phone calls to whoever's.
They don't
on
want high
signs or
pressure
anything.
sales. They don't want high pressure
No.
sales. So use
No,
your
there's-
text magic phone number and let them text you and start the conversation that way. But you know me, Peter. I have to keep trying shit and stay ahead of the curve.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this idea that just like people drive around their streets, they do the same thing on the internet. They drive around on the internet, just like they drive around the streets. Just like when you go to the grocery store, you go a certain way, you see certain things, and there you go. And if you study sociologically, study how people are, right? We talked about that last week. If you study them sociologically, a lot of people have the same habits. Like there's only so many ways to go to Walmart. So you could get in that path and let them know you're there.
Yeah.
Well, the internet's the same way. People travel on the same roads on the internet. Okay?
Yeah. So how do you position yourself on the internet to be seen then?
So we agree this is how it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're also using Google AdWords in the banner section, because if you set up Google AdWords so that you get the banner section, which is like, 25 cents for like 1,000 impressions, just like your sign, right? You can go into Google AdWords. You can find out where the sellers are driving around on the internet, because Google will do that for you, and put a sign in front of them, "We buy houses," just like your bandit sign.
Yeah. So when you Google stuff, that pops up.
Well, it'll be in the ad section. Google will go find, it'll find blogs and, all different things, Amazon, wherever people want to receive advertising money, they will be.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, I tried to do a banner business years ago. Somebody had some bright idea. But as soon as you Google something like you want to buy a car, next thing you know, you're getting car ads all over it, and you're seeing banners to buy that, or fishing gear that you want, the cigars you want. Like, how did they know? Everybody's watching.
It's called retargeting. It's called retargeting. Retargeting.
Yeah.
All right. Even better than that, Peter. I have another idea for you. That list that you downloaded from PropStream a few minutes ago we talked about.
Yeah.
The out-of-area owners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Suppose you take the ones that have emails, or you just pick some of those, and you uploaded those. I prefer they have to have emails, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure about the ones that don't have emails.
Yeah.
You upload them onto Facebook as a custom audience. Very easy to do.
Really?
You upload them, you take that list, say it's 50, 100, 200 names, whatever it is, not a lot, and you upload them onto Facebook as a custom audience. You now pay 25 cents or whatever you're going to pay, 50 cents, to market to that custom audience, and all you do is put on there, "We buy houses." You put your sign on there. Just like you put a sign on the road that they're driving on their way to Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know that when Facebook's going to target them. And say, "We buy houses." Right? And they're going to have their phone number and they're going to call you. Right? I just had an idea. I got to remember what it was. Let me look at my notes. We'll leave it at that. Okay?
So that could be your phone number or the text number, either way, right?
Yep. Doesn't cost anything. The only thing that's going to cost you is you put $5 a day in your marketing campaign in Facebook, and you send it to your custom audience, and you just let it run. That's like putting a street sign in front of Walmart where they're going to go grocery shopping. Right?
That's funny. Well, we know people drive. We know they go to stores. We know they're outside, so they'll see the signs. But we also know that they search the web. They're on the internet looking for things, and they see things there, and they pass a bunch of stuff, and they stop at a bunch of stuff. But if it's people that are looking for houses or in that pool, they'll see it. Some should stop.
What's the rule, Peter? The 4 steps. 1, find a seller and talk to them about real estate.
Yep.
2,
tell them you buy houses.
3, ask them what and what does that mean? Ask them what's needed and wanted. How do you do that? Do you need to be a genius to do that? One sentence.
You talk to them.
No. You don't need to talk to them.
Oh.
One sentence. What would have to happen for me to buy your house today? That's all you got to ask them. Mm-hmm. And then the 4th step is give them what they needed and wanted. So if you go into the free course that I'm giving you, which is Creative Real Estate Investing 101, and you see how we do the loan to value ratio and we do all that, you just match what they say to one of those offers and you make them an offer.
Yeah.
Why is this so difficult? You'll suck at it in the beginning, but you do a few of them and you'll get better.
Yeah. Bill, I think the trick is you have to do something.
Yeah. I'm giving you, and like you said before, just pick one of these and do it.
Yeah. Pick the one. I mean, some of the things you're saying, like, okay, I don't think that's too much for me to do that and put it on Facebook. I'm not as familiar with those things. But most of those I've already done or can figure out.
Peter.
Not a big deal.
That's the problem with people. You're humanoiding right now. That's too much for me. You know what? F you. Screw you, Bill, Peter. I don't feel sorry for you for not having leads. Screw you. Go to YouTube and type in how to create a custom audience on Facebook. You'll watch a 20-minute video and realize how simple it really is. You've decided it's hard when it's not.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying pick the one on the list that you already know how to do and go do that one and start there and then add as you go.
Yep.
But you're right. I mean, I all that stuff, I didn't know how to do the first time.
Right.
Every bit of this. Right. And I know people who, I say something, I don't know how to do that. Well, go find out. Right. I have people who say, well, I don't have the phone number. Go on the internet and find it. Shut up.
Right.
So I know what you're talking about. But of all these things, everybody is probably more familiar with one of these than the other. You don't have money for bandit signs? Do what I did. Go call for sale by owners. If you're that desperate, start someplace. But there's several of these you can do easily and then learn something fancier next time. But start somewhere.
Exactly.
That's all.
Number 7. Lastly, I still do direct mail. I don't know why I put lastly there because we got a number 8, but I still do direct mail. Those lists we pull from PropStream, I not only call them, but we mail to them. And then if you put them on Facebook, like we were talking about, they think you're everywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
There's nothing about multiple marketing techniques to make people think you're everywhere, like you said.
So if you have a list, take a yellow notebook pad, like that, a yellow piece of paper, and just put on there, Dear John, I'd like to buy your house at 123 Main Street. Please give me a call. Here's my phone number. That's it. Handwrite it, put it in an envelope, mail it. That's what
Bill,
we call.
Can I say?
It's direct mail. That's what we call a yellow letter campaign.
Bill, can I say our current success with the yellow letter campaign?
Sure.
We're selling a 3-family property and buying a 6-family property. I found those both with my wife's little letters, 25 a week, 50 a week. That's how we found both of those. One's being sold, one's being purchased. Yellow letter. Nothing crazy, really simple.
Okay.
My wife can do it, your kid can do it, your teenager can do it.
That's right. Or you can go to yellowletterlady.com and she'll do it for you.
Yeah. Somebody do it for you.
John, I don't understand your question. You're saying I'm not selling. What does that mean? You're not selling what? I don't understand your question. All right, so think of it as if we text them, then we call them, then we send them mail, do you think that they're going to start to listen?
Yeah.
So if we text them, so we got this list that we pull from PropStream, right?
Yep.
We text them, we call them, we send them a yellow letter, and then we'll do a custom audience on Facebook. How many investors doing that? And it's not hard. I mean, it's going to take a little work. I'm not telling you that this is like, Simple Simon, and you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and all this is going to be done. But if you do a little bit, and then a little bit, you eat an elephant one bite at a time.
Bill, I have a viewpoint on this that I don't know if it's just mine or got it from you or just the work we do, but I think some people go around like, gee, I want to buy a house and make some money. Good luck. What works better is build a little business.
Yeah.
Don't just go look for a house, build a little business. Send things out, send other things out, make some phone calls. Like it's kind of like do your damn work.
Right.
You know, like you want to build a house? What do? You build a house? No, you dig a hole. You fill it with concrete. You wait for it to cure. You put some supports on it. You know, you just do inch by inch.
Right.
And then you have it. So it's a business that you just take an hour a day and work on it. Half an hour or two, just work on it. Just do the steps, You think you won't get something? But you have to consider that you're doing a business and it'll appear.
Right.
Any business is like that. You just do what you do. The food comes in the back. The ads go off the front, and people walk in and buy food at the store. You know,
Right.
You just do it.
It's true. All right, number 8. The biggest secret known to mankind in any business, okay? The biggest secret, actually not known to mankind, I don't know however you want to put this, the biggest secret known to mankind in any business is follow-up.
Mm.
If someone says no, right, most expect and don't come back. Let's take a restaurant. I can't tell you how much money I spend a week or a year. I was in 2 restaurants yesterday. 2 restaurants, one for lunch, one for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
They have no idea who I was. They recognize me when I walk in.
Oh.
But they have no way of communicating to me and saying, hey, here's today's lunch special.
Yeah, they don't capture your identity or they don't get your information.
It's stupid. Walmart has no idea who I am. They don't even recognize me when I walk in.
Oh, no. Not a store like that. Nope.
They do something
there-
like $110 billion a year, I think, right? Or $90 billion a year. Imagine how much more that could be if they had an email list.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Bill, would you believe my little music lesson business? I keep every name of every student I've ever had, and every week I send out cards. I just send them out, and I just send them out, and I just send them out, and it just works. It's like magic. It's not even that those people come in, but somebody shows up.
Yeah.
Somebody shows up. Just as a little side business that I do to keep cash flowing while I do the other stuff. It's so simple.
35 to 40% of my deals come from follow-up. The pipeline. The pipeline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? So, someone says no, right? And they don't come back. Right? We found you may have to absorb 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 no's before you get a yes. So if you take
from the same person?
yeah, if you take that seller's no the first time and don't come back, then you just spent and listen to me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do something that I didn't have written down here. Let me see if I can get this. What did I do with it?
Well, while you're looking, that's a lesson I learned probably this summer
Yeah.
about no's. And I looked at your script again, and if somebody says no, there's another line like you're asking a girl for a date. So you ask her out. She goes, no, I don't want to go out. I says, well, wouldn't you like to go see a movie? No. I got tickets to this band that you love. Really? No. There's this restaurant I love. It's got the best roast beef. Oh, really? You might have to try 5, 10 times. And,
Right.
So the script has some, even though the person says no, there's another line. You just say something else like, well, what about this? What about that? You just keep trying. What's going to happen? They say no a few times. Okay, then you can give up. But don't give up the first time.
Right.
What were you looking for? Oh,
It's a book.
Getting
Everything You Want Out of All You've Got by Jay Abraham. He's a genius. Getting everything. This is an amazing book. Okay?
Yeah.
Page number 5. That's the beginning of the book, Peter.
Wow.
I'll read it to you. You'll be shocked at how truly easy this is going to be. Too good to be true. It's not. Let me take just one seemingly huge, complicated income increasing problem and show you how truly and simple it is to solve. So what are we going to solve? Income problem.
Income problem.
Do you ever wonder how many ways there are to increase your business? 100 ways? 200 ways? 500 ways? It can be intimidating to merely figure out where to start. I have good news. There are only 3 ways to increase your business. Number 1, increase the number of clients. Number 2, increase the average size of the sale per client. Number 3, increase the number of times clients return and buy again.
Yep.
Only 3. It's significantly less daunting if you only have to focus on 3 categories. In fact, it is easy. Let's take a simple example, and he does math on it.
I love stuff like that when all the crazy is just reduced to the simplicity of the few things that can have smart ways to do each step, but it's just those 3 to focus on. I love that.
So follow up.
Yeah.
Okay, so blah, 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 blah. Right? So how do you do follow-up, Peter?
Well, gee, Bill, I kept names of the people I were calling last year from apartments, and I called a guy back in November, December, and that's how we're buying the 6-family property. I was shocked myself. Like, I just sat down like, I said, I got nothing to do. I got no names. I got nothing. Let's call Mervyn. Hello, he's in New York.
Right.
A year later, I hadn't talked to him in a year, I swear. You say, you've been following up? I wasn't. I just pulled it out a year later. And he goes, okay, I'm ready.
Good. And we're doing it.
I don't know. Sorry.
So in the beginning of this podcast, and then I'm going to tell you this, and then we're going to end off. In the beginning of this podcast, I said, what are the 2 things that I like to automate?
2 things? Well, the leads.
The opening call.
And the follow-up.
And the follow-up. So
with repeated text.
Normally I would not reveal this on a free podcast because this is totally coaching material without having some sort of an affiliate link.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do it today and let the fur fly, Pete.
You're so gutsy, Bill.
No, this is like, seriously, this is like, unless you're in my arena, I mean, this is like, I'm not the only one that knows this. I mean, there's a lot of people that are doing it. But until someone like me tells you, you aren't going to know this. You're not going to find this on the internet. It's new software. It's called REI Replay. REI, Real Estate Investing Replay. REI Replay. It's about $50 a month, which is ridiculously cheap. I have the same exact software that I use in another business. It's because it's white labeled, which means somebody else is hosting it. They're just selling it. Okay. I pay $97 a month for it. In fact, if you've been to one of my events, I use that software to get you to the event. It does all my follow-up, does all my calls. Here's the link. Here's when. Don't forget, it allows you to do email. It allows you to do SMS, which is texting. It allows you to do ringless voicemail drops. It allows you to do texting. Okay, which I said SMS. But the texting, what we do is we put texting in there to YouTube videos.
Oh, the text has a video that they can click on and
watch.
link.
It says YouTube and go watch.
Yeah.
Say, you want to know how I can buy your house? And then send them to a YouTube video for 10 minutes. Okay? For $50 a month, it does so much more. It's got a phone system in it. It's got an email autoresponder system in it. It's got a website builder in it. It's got everything you need. And REI Replay is some girl and some guy that figured it out during the pandemic. they already set up, they're wholesalers, they already set up a lot of follow-up systems for you already. All you have to do is go in there and just alter your name. They're already set up in the system when you buy it for $49 a month.
Jeez.
Follow-up's done for you. You can literally get up and running in a few hours. Totally custom to you. And it's, like I said, relatively inexpensive.
Yep. Well, think of all the time it saves you.
Yep. All right. Before I end off today, I would like you to know that I told you what to do, not how to do it. Because I can't cover all these things. It'd be a 6-hour seminar, which we may do, right? So I've told you what to do, not how to do it, right? So if you want to know how to do it, then every month, the first Wednesday of the month, I take one of these campaigns and I do a Zoom call and I show you exactly how to do it. And then I take all the documents, I take the replay, all the documents, I make special videos, I put them on a web page that you will have access for 30 days. And then after 30 days, I take the page down. Okay? The reason why I do that is because if I don't, you will never do it. You need a deadline. And if you're not going to lose it, you will put it in your computer and you will forget about it. So I want you to pay $97 and I want to hold you hostage to the application. So the point of this whole, we call it Deal Hunting Monthly Mastery, the purpose of this group is to every month do another campaign, and each month you add a campaign to your real estate business. So you've got 30 days to put together the Facebook thing. Then you got 30 days to put together text magic. And then you got 30 days to put together your Facebook audience. Right? Every month we do a different campaign. So you just keep building your business. Right? But you only get 30-day archive. And it costs $97. Now, often what I do is, like, I did a subject to event, getting the deed event. It was a 6.5-hour event. What I did is I did a special and said, this month, if you join my Deal Hunting Monthly Mastery, you get the event for $1. Otherwise, you got to pay $99 for it. So a lot of times you can join because I do specials.
Yep.
Okay, but for the most part, it's $97 a month. I got to tell you that all that's spectacular. Really. It really is. And I say that because the guys that are using it and doing it are doing deals. It's meant to help you find deals, because as soon as you find deals, the next thing that's going to happen is you're going to want to go into my weekly coaching program, which is $500 a month. Okay? And I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm just saying that that's what's going to happen. Because what I found with my weekly coaching is the guys would start and they wouldn't have the ability to go find deals, and they're not bringing deals to the coaching call. And they don't stick. So that's why I created this other group. Now, when you go into the weekly coaching, all the archives for those videos and all that stuff is in the weekly coaching portal. So once you go into weekly coaching, you can get all those archives. And you can do them anytime you want. Okay? More importantly, what I want you to understand is in that $97 a month, there's a WhatsApp group. And when you're working on this stuff, you can go in there the rest of the other 30 days or 29 days or whatever it is of the month. You can go in there into the WhatsApp group and ask questions, and we will help you. So you have full support for $97 a month. But I want you to know that today I played a dirty trick on you. I told you what to do. If you want to know how to do it, I need to spend more time with you, and I need to do a screen share with you, and I need to show you how to do it on a Zoom call. And that's what we do the first Monday of every month. Okay? The program's set up so that you can learn a different campaign every single month. Okay? And this is not a sales pitch. It sounds like it. This is not a sales pitch. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to end. I realized something about a month ago over Christmas holidays. I realized something, Peter, that it's been gnawing at me. Gnawing at me. It's an inner burn that's bothering the living crap out of me.
And you haven't talked to me about this. What is it?
No, I haven't. When people come to me and they listen to this podcast and they do my programs, they buy my course, they're not happy with their life. They're looking to change their life. You came to me looking to change your life.
Oh, big time. Big time. Absolutely.
There's something about their life that they don't like and they want to change it.
Yep.
Right? So
it's a huge change.
I take that personal. If I don't push you and prod you and sell you things and make you pay for things, because when I give away free stuff like this podcast, it's too easy not to do anything. But if you put up your hard-earned cash, you're going to do it. And the more cash you put up, the more likely you are going to do it. So it's a disservice to teach you on this podcast and think that you're going to go change something, because there's people on this podcast that never buy anything from me, and every week they listen to me and they don't have a deal yet. Right? Free service just crashes them because they think they're doing something. So I take my job seriously. My job is to get you over the hump and get you to a deal. My job is to make sure that if you come to me and want me to help you change your life, I do my part. I do not, look at us. Every Thursday morning we show up here. I do not duck my responsibility. Every single coaching call, I'm there. A lot of times my students don't come. So this is like having an option agreement. I'm liable, but they're not.
Yep.
They have the choice to duck me when they feel a little bit down today and I have my cup of coffee, I'm a little grouchy. Or their wife's breaking their balls, or something didn't go good at work, or they got some stupid excuse like I gotta go to a birthday party, or I gotta, you know what I mean? It's like, to me, it's bullcrap. You know that every single Monday night you're supposed to be on a coaching call with me. You tell your family, I work on Monday nights from 7 until 10. End of story. You don't schedule something else. Because the only way you're going to change your life is to be there and do stuff. I take that to heart. If you're coming to me and asking me to change your life, I'm going to bend into you. I'm going to use my New York attitude and I'm going to bend into you. Because it's the only way that it will work. No other way. Because you have habits, and habits are hard to change. So if I'm not trying to sell you something, and I'm not trying to get you to do something, I've lost love for you. And it's just that simple. Because I really do care. If you want to change your life and you're coming to me and asking me to help you do it, I'm going to do it, man. I'm not going to be half-assed. I'm going to do it. End of story. Next week, I have no idea what we're going to do, Pete, because my series since 229 is pretty much over, because it started with you asking, how do I do a creative deal a month? And we've done 8 podcasts on how to do that. 8 podcasts. Just keep listening to those 8 podcasts over and over and over again. It's a sequence of 8 podcasts.
Yep.
Including ending with how you can find deals.
8 ways.
How'd we do all day? Did I deliver okay today?
You way over delivered. You gave us too much to do.
Okay, good. Which is usually a problem with me.
That's okay. But, in all those things, everybody will find something they can do.
Yeah.
I'm still doing letters. I'm still doing signs, and have other things I have done. And I'm actually busy with a few projects, especially my own home that I'm selling. And but then I want to get back into more automation. I want to do more automation than I have done, because I haven't. I've done some, but not enough. But that'll be the next thing when all these things kind of get through the process.
Awesome.
But you gave plenty of things that can be done.
Awesome. All right.
Just like, and you know what Napoleon said? Don't wait to be ready to do something. Draw a line in the sand from right where you are and take the first step right now. When you're off the podcast, go over like I did to the computer. Go for sale by owner, for rent by owner. Find somebody. I don't know if you call them, text them, do something. Go ahead.
Awesome. With that said, we're over and out. Don't forget to go give us a review. Don't forget to like us. Don't forget to subscribe to us wherever you're listening to us. In the actual description of wherever you found us today is a link to about 25 different free things, videos, scripts, forms, all kinds of stuff. Make sure you go over there and check them out, right? And if you have any questions, go to flippinghousesforrookies.com, top right-hand side, hit support, and I will answer those support tickets. Okay? Thanks for listening. We're over and out. Have a good day.
Thanks for tuning in to the hottest real estate topics on the planet with Bill and Pete. If you want to continue learning how to buy and sell real estate without money or credit, head over to flippinghouses.club for some cutting-edge real estate wealth tools. Or contact us at info@flippinghouses.club.